Global economic warfare. With all this stuff going on with the coronavirus outbreak and that, there's a lot of strange coincidences going on, which I don't really believe in coincidences. If you went back to when I was a kid, there were several different sci-fi movies, that were epic back in the 60s. Soylent Green, there was 2 or 3 other ones I forgot. And there was the original Rollerball, the one with James Caan that came out in the 60s, not the new one. And what it was in that movie, governments didn't exist. It was corporations, and the world, they had a map, was divided, like North American Corporation, all of South America, there was Sino-Asia, there was Africa, and different parts. And it's like there were 4 or 5 large corporate groups that controlled the globe. Okay? Corporations, not governments. And these were all these theories after World War II, and they developed the atomic bomb. Basically, we had the power to destroy the planet and life on it. So warfare changed. There isn't going to be the huge wars like World War II where we mobilize the country, send millions of men across the other side of the globe to fight a war and a global conflict. With nuclear weapons, it's just throw a switch, stuff blows up, radiation's released, and about 3-4 months everybody dies. So you can't really profit from it or push an agenda when everyone's dead. So things changed. And now with technology and that, there are certain things, whether we like it or not, are global. The economy is one. It used to be the New York Stock Exchange, well, then the Nissan Index, and then there's another one in Europe. Well, all of these now are linked. So stocks trade 24 hours a day around the globe. It's no longer the big Wall Street guys, all alone, America, the center of capitalism. It's global. Okay? And we have a global economy. And the past few years they tried doing it. The European Union and the Euro, they tried getting all these countries together and unifying one currency and that. So this is going on. This is real. Now I guess recently Britain broke away from it and everything else. So when we see it on there, everyone knows the stock market plummeted. I mean bad, again, a huge crash like just before the Great Depression. Then it goes up, then it crashes again. Then they announce something about quarantines and it fluctuates. Well, then, right about when all this started, this virus outbreak, they lowered the price of a barrel of oil. Okay, now this, when you look at what your money is worth in that, in the old days it was backed by gold and silver. It's not. Even the US dollar isn't. They say it is, or they have gold reserves, but I think it's all bull. Your money is worth just what you believe it is worth. Where the money in that comes from is energy and power. Because if you turn off the electricity, the whole world comes to an end, just about. And oil, natural gas, whatever, what we need to drive our cars, to fly planes, to move ships, trains, to heat our homes, okay? If you screw with that, you're screwing with everybody's life, basically, okay? So where the war started was with the price of oil. Now, the way it works with Russia, and everybody's, and then the blame game for all this. Everybody blames everything. Political parties, this country, that country. Well, Russia, the way their economy is, its natural resources is their wealth. So whatever, when the price of oil is high per barrel, Russia does well. It makes a lot of money. When oil drops low, it kind of destroys their economy. So I guess in the midst of this, they would not adjust their prices, and then the Saudis did something where they just flooded the market, overproduced, and dropped the oil down to where it was starting to, it would probably drastically affect Russia. This is a form of warfare, economic warfare. This is where you cripple a country by destroying its income, okay? And it's just kind of going on. And then in the midst of this, people are laid off, businesses are ordered to close by states and that, and the government more or less. So, send everybody home. Now unemployment claims, we had fairly decent employment. Now unemployment's rampant. Everybody's wondering, what am I going to do? Then everyone's afraid of getting sick first. Then it's like, well, I can't go to work. How am I going to pay my bills and all this? And then the president gets on the TV and says, hey, yeah, this is a problem. So I'm going to send every American a check for $1,000 in relief. All right. Who gets the check, where the check comes from, and he said this on TV, and then they throw in, I think somebody said 300 pages or something in this relief package that has to do with all these other different laws and clauses and stuff. So they hemmed and hawed for a few weeks over because my wife was following it. And then finally they come down where they approved it, and supposedly they're going to do this, but it's not quite clear on when or who or how you're going to get a check. And it's going to go on a priority status or something, the neediest first, which I don't know how they determine that. And then, like she's saying, you might not, they told us that if a check does arrive, it might not be until the end of August, beginning of September. Okay, so which makes no sense. But the key thing here is this is going to cost a few $1 trillion to do this. Where's the money coming from? Okay? And this is what's confusing the hell out of people. Our deficit is so many trillions now, which the Chinese kind of hold a lot of our debt. And so now we're going to print more money and go trillions more in the debt. Okay? And what it is that is kind of a economic warfare, our way of doing it, onto China. Okay? And the thing is, if the US dollar collapses, it is the world currency. It's what everybody bases the currency on. It used to be the British pound back before World War II. If you watch the old movies, when someone says, I'm going to pay you, and they go, so many pounds sterling. That was because the British pound was kind of the world currency back over 100 years ago. Okay, it was universal. If you were talking money, they don't care about this, that, or the other thing. It's pound sterling. Okay, it's like American dollars, good as gold for a time. Okay, the U.S. dollar is what everybody bases everything on, and it is the world currency. So if the U.S. dollar collapses, the whole world economy folds up too. Okay? So I don't understand it, but something's amiss here, and they're using this coronavirus pandemic to pull all kinds of weird stuff. This is just one of them. It's an economic warfare. Now there have been conspiracy theories where they're going to go to a global currency, or like in that rollerball, a regional currency. Like there will be North American dollars, which will cover Canada, U.S., Mexico, Central America, and then they're going to break the world up into these different segments. Or, as some people say, there's just going to be a one world currency, period. Okay, I don't know if it's going to be a paper note with Mickey Mouse or Hello Kitty on it or whatever, I don't know, but, world currency. Which, if they do that, then you're going to have to convert whatever you got. Doesn't matter whether it's dollars, dinars, zloty, whatever. That's going to have to be converted into the new currency. All right, so I don't know if they're trying to pull something like that, but there is an economic war going on right now. And with everybody being bombarded and confused with all this stuff, this opens the door for a lot of sneaky stuff to go on with people. You can't really say it's a government. It's like some of these guys that go on about all these conspiracies, they call them elitist. And the one fellow, even though he goes on with a lot of rhetoric, he's correct. There are a group of people where it's not the nationality or a political thing or an ideology, it's power and control. It goes beyond any governments or whatever. It's just there are people that money and wealth equals power, and they want more of that, and that's how they get their power, is through money and wealth. Because when you look at it, you look at all these movie stars and actors, they're worth $8 billion or something. Okay? I don't even know what my net worth is, but say my net worth, just throw it out, $300,000. Right? So, they have an economic collapse, and the value of everything drops. Okay, my 300,000, including property, vehicles, cars, all the gold bullion buried in the yard and everything, and somebody with $8 billion. The economy collapses, money's revalued. Now, I have a net worth of $30,000, but somebody else with $8 billion has like $800 million still. So the rich people, even with an economic collapse, will still be rich. Okay? That's one way of looking at it. That's the way I kind of look at it, and it's kind of scary. Because they could do that. They could cripple the economy to where everybody's all of a sudden really poor. Okay? But I don't know. And this check deal is kind of crazy, but see it again, I watch it too. When he announced that, a lot of people now, they're thinking about, well, when am I going to get this check? What am I going to do with the money in that? And I'm serious. There's a lot of other serious problems going on, and they're worried about getting this $1,000 or $1,200 check and when it's going to be there. It's like a game, I don't know, but that's my opinion on it. Again, the comment sections, is open. Please put your input on what my theory is here, and stay tuned.